Okay, so there's been a lot of talk about GBTC and for good reason. So just as a very, very quick history lesson, GBTC was a closed-end fund for many years. It traded at a premium because you could not redeem shares, but you could send in-kind Bitcoin in and essentially arbitrage that premium. Now, many trading firms, trading desks, and investors actually participated in this trade in 2021. So when the premium was very high, we saw 660,000 Bitcoin flow into GBTC, a monumental rise in coins held, and a very, very large component of the price action in 2021. When that moved to a discount, and we can see there's this gradually sloping line. This is the Grayscale 2% fee, which is a very high fee, relatively speaking. This is actually the fees being drained out over time. And you can see that the bull market really lost all of its steam following that going into a discount. And at that point, through all of this 2022 bear market, that discount reached as low as 50%. So a lot of those investors were 50% below their NAV. GBTC has now converted to an ETF. It has done the full transition across to being an ETF product, and this allows redemption, something that hasn't been able to be done for a long time. And it's important to note that there's likes of FTX estate, there's the Celsius estate, there's the Three Arrows estate. FTX in particular has been a significant redeemer because they're essentially locking in and getting cash out for the creditors. And we have seen a precipitous decline. If we include all of the fees, so up until the point of conversion, total ETF fees were about 39,300 Bitcoin, taken out in 2% fee, which is quite incredible. And then when we look at total outflows, we've seen 161,000 Bitcoin flow out of GBTC. So that includes that 39,000. So really a monumental rebalancing, a huge amount of supply overhead. And we then put back to one of those previous charts. Within that, there's only been a 20% correction so far. And it does show you a lot of these coins are going from GBTC to a different ETF, but there's a lot of big picture market dynamics that are really shuffling and changing. And as you can see here, this continues to decline day after day. So we are still seeing redemptions overall, and we will have to wait and see when this slows down and whether the demand for the other ETFs is sufficient to absorb it. So there's a lot of mechanics in play, but just putting a bit of context that GBTC really was responsible for a big leg up, and thus far has been responsible for some part of the leg down. But again, we will see how this plays out in the weeks ahead.